have arrived at your destination. Welcome to the Women Can Do Show, where we talk not about what's trending, but what's purposeful. We are in season 3, and we are so excited about this episode. I have with me the beautiful, amazing, the mayor of the city of Lakewood, California, Cassandra Chase. Welcome to the show.
Well, thank you so much. I'm so glad to be with you today.
I am excited, first of all, because you made history as was it the first Black mayor or first Black woman mayor?
First
Black mayor. Yeah.
In the city's 70-something history, 70-something year history.
Wow.
And I know usually it's a Black male who typically breaks that barrier first, but in this case, it was a woman, and it was me.
Yeah. And you, I have been following you since. You caught my eye since, and I'm like, I really want to have her on the show. Of course, we're all about empowerment, and just for other young Black girls to see you and hear your story and see all that you're doing. I just think it's so empowering and so inspiring. So thank you for saying yes.
You're very welcome, and thank you for making the ask. I really appreciate being in this space with you.
Yeah, thank you. So I'm going to give a brief introduction. So Mayor Chase is an educator, a social impact leader whose work centers on equity, service, and building kinder, more connected communities. Her leadership reflects the belief that public service is rooted in care, courage, and collective responsibility. You've described your commitment to service as something deeply rooted in your upbringing in the city of Lakewood. So what inspired your sense of responsibility to the community?
Yeah, I was very fortunate to be born to parents who themselves are servant leaders. My dad's a United Methodist minister, which the United Methodist Church is very rooted in social justice and the work of community. And my mom is now a retired nurse, registered nurse.
Yeah.
And so I grew up with those two examples in front of me.
Yeah.
And they created a space where my entire family was really active in community.
Yeah.
I would say like our family value is service. People talk about going to do community service on a Saturday or whenever. Service was all I knew, and I didn't have a word for it. It was just we did what was needed for the community or for other people, without question. Like if we had something to share, if someone was in need, if we needed to stand with someone, if we needed to simply hold space, it was part of what I learned to do from a really, really young age. So my parents, who I love dearly, who I'm so grateful for, were really my first examples, and then the network of folks that have made up my community, right? From folks at church to educators to other elected officials who served as models and examples when I was young, right? That showed me that this is all possible. Those were some of the, I think the framework, the foundations of sparking the idea or the thought that service doesn't need to live in one space or place, but we can examine and figure out the ways in which it can live in all spaces, and use our skills and our presence to just do simply something good for someone else.
Yeah. Oh, that's so important. And I love how your parents set that foundation of service.
Yeah.
Same with me. I grew up in a family. My mom and dad both were servants, and so my dad was like, we serve as a family. Like we're serving. Hey, the kids you're serving too. So we knew like you said, we knew about service at a young age, about serving. How serving is not limited to in the home. Serving people in your community, serving the less fortunate, serving those in need, or in the church, wherever. So we were, when you said service, that the light came on for me.
And I think about my dad a lot, and I think one of the things he's continued to impress on me is that service isn't just about like serving, right?
Yeah.
Sometimes service is simply showing up, and standing with folks. And so I note that sometimes people think about this big thing that has to happen.
Yeah.
like a community service day or this big give, right, for the community. But sometimes the best thing we can do is just ask someone if they are okay.
Okay. Oh,
you know?
Yeah.
And that in itself is an act of service, and that opens the door, I think, for folks to see each other as human beings.
Yeah.
And for us to lean on each other with the strengths that we have.
Yeah.
And to be strong when other folks may not have that moment to be strong for themselves.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, that's so important. I know when we're talking, I'm glad you mentioned that about just being there. When my dad passed, one of my closest people to me asked me, like, what do you need? If you just need me to sit with you, so that was so powerful to me, like that someone, but like you said, it is just someone sitting with you, knowing that person is there.
That's right.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
It's simple.
It is.
And it doesn't have to be complicated.
And it doesn't have to be grand. Like you said, It doesn't have to be on the main stage. It doesn't have to be, at a community service event. It's in our daily.
That's right.
It should be in your daily routine. Yeah.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Wow. So what was the moment that made you realize you wanted to become a leader?
I don't know if there is one specific moment.
Yeah.
I think about leadership and, again, the experience of leadership. I've had a number of moments where I have been, I think, privileged to be able to be in spaces where my voice was necessary and my voice was heard. And I've been asked to, show up.
Yeah.
And it's that saying yes to those variety of moments that have happened in my not only professional life, but also in my personal life as well.
Yeah.
I think the other piece to that is other folks seeing perhaps the leadership qualities in me that I didn't see at the time.
And typically that's how it happens.
Especially for women.
Yeah.
I know this is a women's-based podcast, and I think it's so important for us to know that, the experiences that we have, the lived experience that we bring to the table, no matter what has happened in our life, is valuable.
Yeah.
And that is our resume.
Yeah.
That is our
Absolutely.
Qualification.
Yeah.
And people need to hear it.
Yeah.
And so I make it a practice of when I see leadership in another woman, another person, I say, hey, I see it in you. Have you ever considered?
Yeah.
Tell me more about what you're working on.
Yeah.
I'd love to support, because sometimes I know for me, it took folks seeing that in me that I didn't see in that moment.
Yeah.
Specifically, people asking me to run for office multiple times.
Wow.
Before I said yes.
Yeah.
And I'm grateful that I did say yes to the folks who saw something in me that I didn't.
Yeah. Yeah.
And as they described it, I was like, oh, I do have leadership skills. I have been leading. I have been doing this work.
Already doing it.
Already doing it. And serving now as mayor, serving as a founder of a nonprofit organization, a founder of a small business. Those were all leadership skills and exercises, if you will, that have prepared me for the moment that I'm in now and will prepare me for whatever moments are in the future.
Yeah.
So it's hard for me to pinpoint a moment
Right.
that has led me to this, but there have been many.
Yeah.
And all of them have been, I think, rooted in me saying yes, to seeing myself as part of the decision-making process, saying, well, if they can be there, I can too. Oh,
yeah.
I can do.
That
I can do. That I too should be at the table and that my voice matters. I think about some of the skills that I have, and I think two stand out to me that are quite unique. My skill or my practice of empathy, and my listening skills. I am that person who tends to be the quietest in a meeting.
Yeah.
I'm not the person that speaks the most,
Yeah.
because I am really listening and trying to understand and digest what we're having a conversation about,
Yeah.
and figuring out the different ways in which we can move the thing forward. But really, I'm listening to understand, you know, and I'm also
that's important.
listening to understand, like, who is not being included in this conversation and thinking about the ways in which we can pull folks in so that we have more people at the table, more people in the discussion, more people who we are making the decisions on the behalf of, you know. And so I find it super important. And I think those two skills of empathy and listening have really been, I mean, they're two things that I think folks may not traditionally put into the bracket of what are some soft, like, leadership skills that are important to lead in a way that's valuable. But I think those are two of my strongest skills that I bring to the table. Yeah. And so as I think about leadership, you know, I don't think there's a final destination on it. I think that it's a practice that you return to every single day. Yeah. And the best leaders are continuing to think about the ways in which they can show up better for their community, show up better for themselves, show up better for their families, and refining the ways in which they lead to include more and more people. Yeah. Oh, somebody is going to be empowered by everything you just said. And as you were talking, and you said about having those listening skills. I remember my dad used to say, because in my family, we all talk a lot. And my dad was always quiet, right? And so we all talk. It's a lot of us. So we talk a lot. And it's 5 girls and 2 boys. So, you know, we're a big family, right? Yeah. And my I remember him telling me one time, if you're talking so much, you can't listen. You can't listen if you're talking too much. Learn to be a listener. Yeah. But I thought about that as you said that. And also, I believe that what prepared you to be that type of leader, like you said, when you go into those rooms, I mean, that listener, I believe your whole servanthood, you know what I mean? Learning to serve at a young age, because you know how the saying goes, you can't be a leader if you don't know how to follow. That's right. You know, that's true. Yeah, it's true. And the practice of servant leadership, right? Yeah. Like I would say, like I would identify myself as that. Yeah. And I think a servant leader is not one that's leading from the front, and that's not my leadership style. I'm not the person at the front like, say, y'all, come on. You know, I'm like, let me walk with you. Let me walk beside you. And when I need to be behind you to push, to make it, you know, to help us go forward, that's where I'm at. Yeah. You know, it's not the upfront leadership. That's not who I am. That's not true to me. I am really a person that leads with folks. Yeah. Because I truly believe that, like, I don't have the answers. Yeah. Yeah. I don't have the answers. Yeah. What I do have is the skills, right? To distill what I'm hearing. And I have those skills that I'm able to turn them into policy. Yeah. I'm able to turn them into solutions. Yeah. But these are not my thoughts alone. you know, like I'm listening to my community. Yeah. Yeah. It's all about the people and the community that we're building. And if I'm making decisions on folks' behalf, I'm making the decisions with people. Not for people. With them. Yeah. Ooh, that's key. That is powerful. So what did so before politics, your work centered around education and social impact. So what drew you to that path? Yeah, especially of education. Yes, you know, I learned as I was stepping into education that my grandmother was a teacher. Okay, my maternal grandmother, which was like just so refreshing to hear that, like, oh, this, like, there's this history in my family. But I always knew I wanted to be in education at some point in my career. When I went to undergrad, I originally went to go become a medical doctor. Oh, wow. With the idea of, like, community wellness being a centering and opportunity to pull folks together. And as I went through school, I started to understand that community wellness can live in spaces outside of traditional medical practices. And I really believe that me serving as mayor, me serving as on council, me serving in the community is part of the practice of community wellness. And I'm able to do similar work while it's not physical health. it is community health and well-being.
It's well-being. As you said, you're talking, I'm like, it's well-being.
It's well-being.
Total well-being.
It absolutely is. So after undergrad, I went to teach in the classroom. I was substitute teaching, and I started seeing some gaps in the classroom.
Yeah.
Right? And then I started asking questions of my principal and saying like, hey, can we do this? Can we do that? Can we buy different books? Can we provide different opportunities for our students?
Yeah.
And eventually she was like, you know what, you're asking me questions that I actually don't get to make the decisions about. Mm-hmm. She's like, you need to speak to folks who are making the budget decisions, mm-hmm. and those people are the elected officials. She suggested that I go and talk to our county supervisor, mm-hmm. that I speak to the school board members in the district. And I was like, okay, mind you, I was just out of undergrad. So I was like, cool, sure. I had no fear around doing it. I was like, sure, if that's what we need to do, we'll go and do it.
Yeah.
I had a conversation with one of our elected officials, and he's like, I note the gaps too. Why don't you come and join the work that we are already doing?
Oh, wow.
With an organization that had an education-based committee. The organization's name is the Empowerment Congress. They've been doing work in the community for decades now. And so the questions turned into an invitation, and they invited me to join the organization to sit on the education committee and collaborate with folks who have already been doing the work around the questions, the gaps that we were seeing, and trying to figure out ways in which we can do more for the young people in our community. I grew up with the understanding that education is in many ways a great equalizer. And so knowing that the possibilities of having high quality education for everyone can provide more opportunities for all has always been a centering focus for me and my work. And so my work through the Empowerment Congress led me to start an organization that addressed the summer literacy or summer learning gaps that were present at the time. At the time when we started the organization, students were not able to do summer school unless they were already failing in school. And so we started our organization to lean on, again, an existing framework of the Children's Defense Fund Freedom Schools program, and started those programs here in Los Angeles County to ensure that students had free, safe spaces to go for the summertime. And not just a free, safe space, somewhere that was also fun, but also focused on ensuring that our students were learning over the summer months, because we know that there is something called summer slide, right? Where like students are not engaged in academic learning, they will fall behind. Now imagine a student falling behind not just 1 year, but for 8 years or for 12 years, students will never catch up. And so the work that we did with the organization has been to directly address that. We started really focusing on that summer space, ensuring that students had not only, again, literacy opportunities to gain in terms of their literacy score and their reading readiness, but also for them to start to learn or exercise how to use their voice for the good of the community. So the summer theme has always been around, I can make a difference. And we examine how we can make a difference in ourselves, our families, our community, our world. And then the last week we focus on how we can make a difference through hope, education, and action. And so the students are reading books that are around those different themes by each week. We go out on field trips, and all of this is led by other young people in the community.
Beautiful.
So students don't have like this huge gap between, they see themselves, right? And I've been doing this now so long that I have scholars who have become servant leader interns. I have scholars who are now working for state assembly members because they were empowered, again, not through me or my program, but because I think maybe the ecosystem that was around them, they're serving in political spaces. I have folks who have served as staff members who are now professors, who are lawyers, who are impacting education in the many ways that education has needs to be impacted. But it's been beautiful to see the growth. And I mentioned we started with summer as like that space, but really understanding that out of school time learning is incredibly important for young people. And so really finding the times in which we can engage young people to learn, make it fun, make it valuable. And for me, my hope and my goal is that we are just pouring into young people so that they can see themselves as part of a beautiful, vibrant community, that they can extend a vision or start a vision that includes everyone. And really provide a space for them to stand up and be the best citizens that they can be.
Talk about impact. I mean, just to see, like you said, some of them are in the state, you know what I mean, going to these different positions, coming from there, but then taking what they, what you all poured into them, and like, now it's my turn to reach back. Now it's my turn to bring this next generation forward. Like I said, bridging the next generation, bringing the next generation forward is so important. It's so important. I was listening to the radio, and I heard someone say that there's a sitting judge that's 84 years old. And I kept thinking, like, that 84, like, that's a space, like, let's bring the young people. That was my first thought, and it was no disrespect. I honor those who came before, because of course they, they're, created space. It was harder for them to get into those spaces. So I honor them continuously for creating spaces for my generation, for the next generation, and generations to come. But I did have that thought, like, let's allow these young people to lead. Like, they are really, especially this generation, they are so courageous. They are so courageous, and they just need guidance,
Well, they also know the way, There's this saying, and a child will lead them. I really believe in that.
It's true.
So it's about building a container and building it with them, right, around what is possible. In Lakewood, we started and launched a new program this year called the Emerging Leaders Summit, where we brought high school students and 8th graders to City Hall so that they can collaborate with us and see firsthand what it means to be of service in the city. So they learned about careers in City Hall, like serving as a city manager, or serving as a director of public works. They went through an exercise of a program. It was actually a parade that actually happened in our city a few years ago. So we gave them the exact scenario that we were faced with as members of city council and as city staff, and they worked through it by departments. And then we stepped into the City Hall chambers and we allowed them to present and share their ideas on how best to organize the parade. And I know I make it sound like it was an amazing event where there was a number of high schools in our area that collaborated to create what was called the 605 Band, and they were performing in the Rose Parade that year, which was the first time that students in our community were able to go and perform at the Rose Parade. And so they wanted to do a practice parade in between Bellflower and
in the
Lakewood,
city,
before they went to Pasadena. And so our young students were able to go through the exercise of what it takes to put that together and understanding all the pieces that come together. Now, when we stepped into the City Hall chambers to hear from them, I asked them, I said, who has ever been in this chamber before? It's about 45 students, and only one student raised their hand. And in that moment, it kind of took my breath away, too. These are high school students, some of them about to graduate from high school. I said, look, y'all, this place is yours. City Hall is yours. Beautiful. This place belongs to you, and I welcome you back.
Yeah.
You know, we have council meetings every second and fourth Tuesday of the month. You can call us, you can email us. We'd be happy to share more about the work that we do.
Wow.
You know, and so they presented,
that's beautiful.
And they had myself and my two of my council colleagues asking the same questions we would have asked our city staff. You know, so they were challenged, but look, they stepped up to the challenge and they created some solutions that, you know, our team didn't even think about because they have a different lens.
Wow.
And so, you know, folks are like, yes, they'll lead in the future, but I'm like, nah, they can lead
Let them
right
lead
now.
Oh my gosh.
They can lead right now.
Yeah.
And so I look forward to like having more spaces where our young people aren't just they're not only sharing their ideas, you know, they are coming to the table and suggesting things, and we're working together to move them forward. You know, I think it's about them. You know, I think about why it's important to invest in young people. You know, we're not going to be around forever. Also, like when we're in our 80s, like
exactly.
These are the leaders that are going to be leading us. I'm like, go and do your thing now. Get started. You
That's
know?
right. Yeah.
And if we again talk about leadership as being something you practice, the earlier you get it started, the more of an expert you will be.
And allowing them to be a part of the conversation is so important.
Because they're part of the community.
They're part of the community.
Right. We can't forget about them.
And you'd be surprised, like you said, you'd be surprised what they do know and what they do know how to do.
That's
you know? Yeah.
They're incredible.
Yeah. Wow. So what did working directly with students and families teach you about the needs of the community?
Well, it's really taught me that issues don't live in a silo. And so, you know, while our focus was around education and literacy, the reality was that there were some families who were experiencing housing insecurity. Or not even having the ability to provide a meal for their students on any given day. You know, I think it's so important for us to know that issues don't live by themselves. And they are really symptoms of larger problems that are happening. When I think about housing insecurity, when I think about the inability to be able to provide a meal for your family, you know, we are in the midst of a affordability crisis. And it's to no one person's fault. You know, and one person did not create this issue. But the responsibility of all of us to care for folks in the midst of this, I think, is important. And for all of us to think about the ways in which we can provide solution to it, I think is also important. I note the responsibility that I have serving as mayor, you know, and when I think about the issues and the policies that I'm creating, I'm thinking about the issues that created the problem. I'm like, I think that's the important thing, that someone who is not only thinking about the urgency of right now, but also thinking about what's going to happen in the future. You got to live in both of those spaces at the same time. But understanding the context in which a thing has happened is incredibly important, so that you're not just providing a surface level solution. You're not putting a Band-Aid.
Which is a Band-Aid.
Right.
That's what I was thinking, like,
you're not
putting
putting
a
Band-Aid on a broken bone. You are realigning right, that injury and providing frameworks for it to heal in the best way so that it can go and do the thing that it was really designed to do.
That's good. That's good. So you focus on creating programs that cultivate social advocacy among students. What does empowering young people actually look like in practice? And one thing that you mentioned was how you took them to the city hall. You know what I mean? You took them inside the chamber. That's all I was thinking, like, that is empowering right there. And like you said, out of 45 students, only one had been in there, right? So imagine how empowered the other 44 were. You know what I mean? When they left.
Absolutely. I think about, like, the 44, right? Or the 45 in that room, like, going home and telling their caregivers, like, do you know where I was today?
Exactly.
Or telling their friends, like, do you know where I was today? And they said I could come back. Like, come on back. Like, that has ripple effects. I think opening the door, serving as a model, as to what leadership can look like is all part of empowering students, helping them to use their voice, supporting them in their ideas, just allowing them and knowing that they are seen, I think goes a long way.
Yeah, yeah.
And so we have a number of community programs in our city. The Emerging Leaders Summit is just one that I mentioned, but our city has a long history of making sure that our young people are held and that there are spaces and places for them to not only lead, but also to serve. And also just to be together, right? Because that's all part of building community. Knowing who's in community with you. You know, we have a Lakewood Youth Center that has been a big staple in our city. And many of our community centers at our parks hold after school programs and opportunities for our young folks to come inside the doors and to be really part of our city community.
That's and again, like making them. We had a show. My son has a podcast, Bridging the Gap, and so he hosts and then I co-host, and we have my nephew, and then we have my goddaughter and one of my cousins. They'll come in as guest co-hosts. And so we had a guest on before, and we talked about that, about making young people want to feel seen and heard. And so as I'm listening to you about how you include them, that makes them feel seen, valued, and heard.
That's right.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I think that's it.
That's
it. And then the next part is we ask them.
Exactly.
What is it that you need from me?
Let them speak.
How can I help? How can I support you?
Yeah. Wow. That you all are doing a lot. As I've known the city of Lakewood forever, but you all you have a lot of programs for the youth in the city, and I think that's a beautiful thing.
Thank you.
I think and I think it's shown to be very impactful too.
Thank you.
Yeah. So can you share a specific initiative or program, and you probably already did, that you're especially proud of and the impact that it's had?
I mean, I mentioned the Emerging Leaders Summit. That's one I'm most proud of. That's the one we launched this year. And you know, as I was stepping into the role of mayor, I was like, look, we got it. We do a number of things, like I said, for the young people, but I'm like, let's do something intentional to build our pipeline of leadership here in the community. I was incredibly proud of that, the way that it was developed, seeing the young people in the space and having conversations. It was a beautiful time. Another one that I'm really proud of is our Lead Her Empowerment series that we launched. We launched it when I first joined council in 2022. And it's grown to be really this empowerment experience, I would say, because it's not just, when we first launched it, it was over a month. We did an event an event a week. During Women's History Month, we started off with visiting some women-owned small businesses in our community and did like a small business crawl. Got on our city bus and rolled around the city and
that is beautiful.
You know, we were great customers to the wonderful business owners in our community. We had a women's wellness event where we had different vendors sharing about wellness opportunities, speakers, opportunities for us to move our bodies. There was another event that I'm forgetting of at this very moment, and then we closed out the month with an empowerment night where we had a keynote speaker who shared about women in leadership. And so that has, again, like I said, has grown to really be an experience. In this past year, in March, it was a brilliant event. And I'm not like shouting myself out. This is really a shout out to my team. My team who's really developed it to be something that people in our city and our local community look forward to every single year. We had a vendor fair of women-owned businesses. We had, of course, great food and conversation, and a fabulous keynote speaker who really shared with us just ways to keep us empowered and engaged during sometimes what can be difficult moments, you know? But for me, this year was like incredibly special. I had the chance to meet a resident who shared with me that she lived in the city for 38 years. And the moment that we met was the first time she had ever met her mayor. And so we shared a really big hug, and she was like, this is the first time I'm meeting my mayor. I've lived in the city for 38 years. And she's like, my mayor is you. And I'm like, and I'm meeting you, you know, and it was just a beautiful, beautiful opportunity to, I think, to see someone who's been in the community for years, and also to be seen as a woman in leadership, a woman serving as the mayor. So that moment really impacted me, and it's staying with me. It stayed with me. I'm the only woman who serves on our council. Yes, I'm the mayor, but I'm also the only woman of a 5-member council as well. And so I understand the impact of making sure our community is represented, and ensuring that we have spaces for women's leadership to continue to develop and be celebrated.
Now let me ask you this. Being, like you said, the only woman on the council, being the first Black mayor and the Black woman mayor, I just thought of this, the weight that you carry. How do you carry that weight? Like, I don't know if you remember Michelle Obama's book, The Light We Carry. I had my goddaughter on before, and it was for a Women's History Month special, and it was about, she's a wellness coach. We talked about how you carry that weight. Like, are you carrying it as this heavy weight, or are you carrying it as a light? So as you're talking about that, I'm thinking about the weight that you carry. So how do you carry that weight?
I'm definitely carrying it as a light. It's a privilege and an honor to serve in this capacity. I think about the hope that so many people have had before this moment, the hope to have someone who perhaps looks like them, or have someone who was not traditionally welcomed into these spaces serving now. There's a hope, and there's also a responsibility, right? I don't believe I opened the door. I think there's other people before me who have like turned the knob, and pulling it a little bit, you know, but I've had the privilege to walk through it. And now, so my responsibility is to hold it open, to ensure that everyone feels welcome, that everyone can see, everyone who chooses can see themselves as part of this process, that they can imagine themselves as the mayor, as a council member, as a nonprofit executive, whatever they choose, that it is possible, you know. So I carry the responsibility, the weight as light. And I'm grateful for it. I'm grateful for it.
That's beautiful.
I recognize it. I'm grateful for it.
You know. Ooh. What, you are an inspiration. I just got to say that all the time. You are an inspiration. And again, and I see that light. And that's why I asked, because as you're talking about it, you're not talking about it in a heavy manner, as it's a heavy weight. There's almost this glow when you're talking about it. And so as you were talking, that's what made me think about how you carry that weight. So I think it's beautiful that, like I said, we had a special. I did a Women's History Month special about that, because oftentimes as women will carry that as a heavy weight instead of thinking, people say, why me? Why not me?
That's right. Why not me? Why not me? And the light, I think about the many ways that light shows up. It's bright. It has a glow. It can illuminate, right? And provide a space for vision, a space to see what perhaps has not been seen before. I think about, again, like this privilege of being in this space and not feeling as though it's heavy. It's not heavy for me. But I think it's not heavy because, again, there's been women before me, right, who have opened the door. I think about Shirley Chisholm. She's one of the people who I just continue to go back to understanding and studying her work, and I wish I could have had a conversation with
Yeah.
her, you know. I think about earlier this year for Women's History Month, I was invited by Congresswoman Sanchez to join her at her first Women's History Month panel event. And so at that event, she shared how literally, you know, the space of serving in government was not created for women. And she talked about her story of being on the floor making a vote. And when they had the opportunity for a bio break, the men's restroom was just outside the chambers in which they're making the decision, but the women's restroom was so far away that there was no time to get there and back. And so literally the spaces, especially in the political space and many spaces in which we're in even today, were not intentionally built for women, let alone women of color. You know, and so I note that, and I note that people have been making change, and by us showing up and continuing to show up and to lead with integrity, to lead with love, to lead with all the ways that I think women can bring uniqueness to spaces. It is so incredibly important. And so I know that I'm excited to do it. You know, I love doing this work. I love collaborating with folks, and it's a joy to do.
Yeah. That is beautiful. Wow. So you've also worked, you mentioned about closing literacy gaps for after school programs. So what are some of the biggest challenges that you've seen
in that space? Some of the biggest challenges, I think, getting funding for the
Number
programs.
Number one.
Being real, you know.
Listen, my nonprofit just, you know, it's early stage and it's like picking teeth to get anything. So I can imagine, you know, it's like, oh my gosh, this is scary.
The investment is what really helps to expand the impact. You know, we started the organization with just open hearts and open minds, and put a lot of sweat equity into ensuring that the students and the families had what they need. We had a lot of wonderful people who came to the table and said, you know, I may not have $1 to give, but I have my time to give. I have my resources, my mind, my two hands. What do you need? You know, and that's investment beautiful. in folks, you know, again, it doesn't always have to be money. But when we talk about scaling a thing, you know, the financial resources are incredibly important. And those financial resources pour right back into our community. You know, the biggest expense historically has been paying what we call our servant leader interns their salaries for the summer. You know, it's so important for us to pay them well. And for them to have the practice of knowing what it means to be paid well.
Exactly.
You know, and be taken care of financially so that they can then go do what they need to do with their finances to take care of themselves, their family, their community. And so we don't play with that. You know, we don't play with that. And we know that when people are treated well, they treat others well. And so all of the investment comes right on back into the community. We buy books. For the students. The students get brand new books, not used books, brand new books. Wow. I love opening new books, you know, when you especially hardcover books, you open
that cover and
there's like this little sound.
Pages.
The babies get that. They get brand new books every single year.
Wow.
We're buying most of them, but there's also organizations who have donated books as well.
Wow.
And so I really believe, you know, there's no need for us to give students use things. They should also have the practice of having brand new things as well. You know, so many of the students get between 8 and 10 brand new books that they are able to start their own library and or build on their library. I think about the young people who were in the program for like 8 years of school, and maybe they have 80 books at home. Maybe they've given those books to their family members and have spread the love and the joy of reading and learning as well. And so think the question was, what does it take, right?
Yeah,
to have an organization. I think maybe being more specific, investment, right? And investment in all the ways.
Yeah, right.
Whether that is time, money, thought leadership.
Yeah.
But investment and the dedication around a mission.
Yeah.
And knowing that we are all pulling together to do this thing, I think is the most important thing.
Oh, yeah. And I love how you mentioned, like, it's not even just the finances, people putting their time. Like, you know, you don't know how much help you need until you, like, you can't do it alone. Like, it takes, you know, people. So I value that when someone comes to me like, hey, what do you need me to do? I'm like, you said nothing but a word.
I got a list. Which one?
Just come on. Which one do you want to do? You know, and so I value those people that do, you know, reach out like, hey, you know, for the conference, like I have a couple of people every year, like, you know, your conference is coming up. Like, I mean, way ahead of time. Like, okay, what do you need me to help with? I'm like, okay, yeah, I do need you. Let me, you know, let me get I always put like a checklist together. Let me get everything together, and then we can, I'll let you know what I need help with. But but again, just that time is important to me. Just people coming forth, like wanting to help. Because like you said, in my mind, like, look, we're investing in these young women. Like, it's not even about me. It's about pouring into this next generation. It's about investing into that next generation. So in my mind, it should automatically be in your heart. You know what I mean? To do something, to want to do something.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. You mentioned, you know, having this ask, like having a list. Well, I said, you know, I have a list, you know, and I want to share, you know, that skill of asking was something that I had to develop.
Oh, yeah.
Asking for help, you know.
Same.
When the organization started, when I started my business, I was like, I can do this. It's fine. I can do it. Something needs to be done. I'll do it. You know. And
I've been there. I'm raising my hand, teacher. I
can tell you firsthand what that leads to.
Yeah, and then it's not intentional, and I think it's because you're used to serving. So, like for me, I just automatically, like, especially when I get in planning mode, I just go. Like, I just kind of start, because I can't wait. Like, I can't. It's like once I get the idea, it's like, okay. And for me, it's like, hey, if I'm sitting there doing that, okay, I'm going to start working on this. And you just kind of start going. And again, I am thankful that I do, like I said, it's a couple of people that I do have them, because they know me and they know I'm probably not going to look up to ask, and it's not even intentional, you know? And so they know, like, hey, let me know. So once they say that, I have that in my mind, and it's like, okay, I forgot. Wait, let me call them and run this by them. And so I have been better about that. But again, like I said, I think it's because you're used to, like I said, since a kid, you're used to serving. And so it's like, you just start doing, you know,
you just do the thing.
You just do it, you know? Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But it's important to lean on your network.
To
lean on your friends, to lean on the folks who are there to share the vision with you, right?
Yeah.
And to help to really develop something good for the community.
Yeah.
It's a work in progress for me too. I will say I've come a very long way. From the day I started the organization to where I am today, and especially serving as mayor. Like there is delegation is the thing. You know, and knowing that I have professionals around me who are professionals in public works or professionals in the parks and rec space. We collaborate in terms of creating the ideas, and they pull their teams together to make it happen. So the leadership is also about delegation. And letting other people lead. Giving them the tools to do the thing that they are skilled at. To do the thing that they are good at. You know, a good leader allows that space to happen.
Especially you have people that believe in the vision. You know, I remember. a mentor told me this earlier on, like, kind of like be careful who you bring on board. Make sure that whoever is working with you, whoever is volunteering in any capacity, that they believe in the vision, because it's about the vision. It's not about them. It's not about you. It's about the vision. Making sure that they believe in the vision and really have a heart to serve. I think that is so important. Yeah,
I do too.
Yeah, yeah. And so you often talk about creating a culture of care and belonging. What does that mean for you?
Yeah. For me, it means that I see you.
Yeah.
That I can care for you without even knowing your story. That I see you as part of this community and you are valued.
Yeah.
And you are loved.
Yeah.
The L word is not a scary word.
Yeah.
It is the core tenet of so many worlds, so many religions, and so many ways in which people choose to practice and show up with care.
Yeah.
And so a community, a practice of care is that, seeing folks, really seeing them for who they are.
Yeah.
As valid members of the community.
Yeah. And I love how you said, like, without even knowing your story. You know what I mean? Without even, yeah. Like seeing you as a human being.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah. Wow. So what initiatives have you implemented since you've been in office?
Oh, I think maybe around that of seeing folks. One that I loved and had the best time doing over the last year has been the Matcha with the Mayor series that we've been doing.
Ooh.
It's been so much fun. I love matcha.
Yeah, that is so cute.
I know. I was telling my sister today, like I went
no,
to go
that's
get us
very
matchas
cute.
this morning.
I love that idea.
It's matchas are very, very me. I have
Yeah.
loved matcha for
Yeah.
years before it's like
before they
matcha's
became
having
a
a
thing.
moment right now. I've been a matcha drinker for a minute. I love green tea, really good fine green tea.
Yeah.
This morning I picked up a matcha for my sister and I was like, I think I've been here every day this week. I've been buying matchas. It's very authentically me.
Yeah.
And so when I thought about ways in which we can gather as community, matcha with the mayor was like, I'd love to do this.
And love that.
We did. And so my city team and I pulled together to host a number of these opportunities for us to gather, to see people face to face. The first one was at one of the local park, one of our local parks. We have a lot of parks in Lakewood.
I know. Yeah.
But we met at Palms Park, which is in my district. That was our first matcha with the mayor. We had one of our local community vendors, Pataquah, a beautiful coffee shop. If you haven't been there, you got to go by there. They have a lovely community space too, where if you're thinking about hosting an event, there's beautiful art in there. In fact, as I'm saying this, today is their 2-year anniversary.
Oh, wow.
And they're doing a gumbo night. So that's where I'm going to head after
my
this.
gosh.
But Pataquah, back to the thing. Pataquah, they have a mobile coffee truck. And so they brought that out to the park and we had matcha and coffee and little snacks, and people were connected to the resources.
Now, this is the community that's coming out?
Yeah.
With
local community members.
Oh, wow.
For the matcha with the mayor.
Yeah.
So we had matcha, we had coffee, and I shared the vision of what the next year will look like for us in the city. They were introduced to our city staff, our assistant city manager, to our directors, to put faces to the names in which they have perhaps been hearing. People came with, of course, some issues, and we were able to connect them right away to resources to help to resolve them. But more than anything else, I know I had fun, and I've heard from other people that they had fun as well. Yeah. And they met neighbors that lived down the street from them that they had never met before.
Yeah.
And so Matcha with the Mayor has really become this like space for community to build together, for conversation.
Yep. That's needed.
It is needed. Yeah. I think from conversation, so much can happen.
Yeah.
So much can happen. So much good happens.
Absolutely.
So we took Matcha with the Mayor around to different coffee shops in the community. So now we're supporting small businesses.
I was gonna
people are learning about businesses that they had not been exposed to before, and we were able to share our love. with the business owners by purchasing matchas and coffees and all that good stuff. And so it's been a multi-purposed or event. It wasn't just about.
That's a game changer.
It's been wonderful.
Yeah.
It's really been wonderful. And so at those events, I met a number of folks as well who were like, I came out because I want my daughter or my son to see and to meet the mayor. I want them to see that this is possible for them. So those are always like some beautiful moments.
Yeah, I can imagine.
And just, again, meeting folks.
Yeah.
And meeting folks where people are. Like I said, I know I'm at the coffee shop multiple times a week, and I know my other residents are as well. So meeting folks where they are was incredibly important. And Matcha with the Mayor is a event and an initiative that was incredibly important to me that I think will have impact long beyond
I
the
can
moment.
totally see that. Yeah. Like you've created a lane here.
Yeah.
That is, and because again, community members want to feel, just like I said, how kids, our youth want to feel seen and heard. Community members want to, and the way that you're including them, they want to be included. You know what I mean? So I think that's beautiful. For so many reasons. Again, like as you were talking, before you said about supporting the other businesses, that's where my mind was going. Like, wow! At the same time, you're also investing in the businesses in the community, not just the people in the community, also the businesses in the community.
That's right. We meet everyone. Our small businesses are so important to us in our city. They're important to any city, but we have amazing small business owners in Lakewood who continue to provide really great resources and opportunities, places for folks to eat and to work out and to experience spaces of wellness, to have good food, good drinks, and community. They are small businesses, provide so much for us. And we have, as a city, continue to find ways to invest back into them. And so I know I speak a lot about programs, but I mean, we've passed ordinances. We've recently passed a new tax that will, not tax that individuals will feel, but a tax that will help us to place money in a pot, if you will, to help with beautification of the outside of small businesses. I heard from one of our small business owners that they were so grateful that we recently repaved many of our streets in our city.
Wow.
They said it has enhanced the look of our community. It's so lovely to drive down roads without potholes, and people are able to get to us a little bit easier. So I'm always grateful for our small businesses. Our city is continuing to do more and more and figuring and asking the question of our small business community, what do you need from us? How can we be helpful to you? Noting that they give us so much, us as a community, they give us so much.
Wow, that's empowering in itself, for them. So how do you navigate conversations around diversity and equity in ways that bring people together rather than divide? Because we know a lot of times those conversations can divide. So how do you navigate those conversations to bridge the gap, we'll say?
I think the most important thing to do is to center those conversations around the values that we're all striving to live up to. I believe every person wants to feel safe in their community. I believe every person believes that education is important. A number of values. Lead with the values. Start there. I think those are the things that cannot be disputed. People will not argue.
They're not.
They'll say, you know what? I do want to feel safe. It doesn't matter where I live. I do want to feel safe. So start the conversations there and keep them there, because it is our values that are going to lead us forward. It is our values that unites us. It is our values that shows us that we have more in common.
That's what I was thinking. We have more than we have not.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. So center the conversations and values. That's what I continue to do. That's what I continue to lead with. And there's very little conversation around should we have
like you said, you can't argue
not.
that.
You can't argue it. You can't argue it.
Yeah. So what challenges have you faced or did you face stepping into that role as mayor, as a woman and as a Black woman?
Challenges. I need to think long and hard about that. There's the challenge of being the first.
Yep.
And I think having folks have expectations of you,
yeah,
you know, in the ways in which they might think you should serve.
Yes.
I faced that challenge by being very clear that you are going to get all of me. You know, you are going to get the Cassandra that is at the coffee shop and the Cassandra who's at the gym. Like all of that will show up in this one space. I faced the challenge of, I think, expectations by, again, sharing I'm going to be exactly me.
Yeah.
And I'm going to continue the work that I've learned to do, the leadership skills that I've learned throughout my history in both my professional and personal life.
Yeah.
You know, I'm bringing all of that to the table. And so, I mean, I think that there's the challenge, right, of being the only woman at the table, but I see challenges as well as opportunities.
Yeah.
And when I think about the opportunity of being the only woman at the table, I'm able to bring a different lens, perhaps a lens that folks are not thinking about.
Yeah.
You know, I have the privilege of serving as the president of the Women's Caucus of an organization called the League of California Cities, which is an organization that serves the 400 and I believe 400 and something, let's say, cities in our state.
Yeah, I read about that. Yeah.
We have over 900 women who are part of the caucus.
Yeah.
And part of my role is to help along with the board, is to help to support and provide opportunities for us as women to collaborate and to have the tools to continue to lead in the most authentic and vibrant ways.
Yeah.
As I talk about the opportunity of being at the table and thinking about things that perhaps others have not, part of what we're doing with the caucus this year is we are doing this exploration around the ways in which local leaders, local cities can provide a solution to childcare. It's part of the bigger problem, right, of the affordability crisis. Yeah. But I know it's not exclusively women who are caring for children.
Right, yeah.
But many times we have the responsibility of doing that. And so as a woman in leadership, collaborating with other women in leadership, we started thinking about this deeply and working to pull folks together to hear what other folks are doing in different cities.
Yeah.
And to be able to lean on each other for direction, inspiration, and to really put some legs to the idea that childcare should be seen as infrastructure. And if we are able to support families in our community by reducing the costs of something that sometimes costs as much as a mortgage, a car note, and investing again in our young people at the earliest of stages, that we can provide a solution that will impact our communities in a way that we've never seen before.
Yeah.
I think it's like women who, again, have this experience of most of the time caring for the children.
Yeah.
And it's the Women's Caucus and it's women in leadership who have developed this idea and have pulled together a working group of local leaders throughout our state to really work towards figuring it out. Yeah. So challenges, I think, are really spaces for opportunity. And I think about the ways in which, like, why am I in this space? What can I bring to the table? Again, whose voice is not heard? Yeah. So, there's been challenges,
and
but there are opportunities.
but here's the thing: some people will refer to them as challenges, but I hear you saying these are opportunities to create change. You know what I mean? Like I love, and it's all about your mindset. You know what I mean? You got to shift the mindset around it. Like, is it a challenge or is this an opportunity to create change?
That's right.
Yeah.
Or to see something a little differently.
See something different.
Right?
Yeah.
Imagine something
like
new.
You said, from a different lens. Yeah.
From a different lens.
Yeah.
When I hear the word no, I'm like, oh, you mean not yet?
Not yet.
Not today. Oh, we need to repackage.
There's no period after that.
There's no period. I'm just like, okay, and it creates the opportunity to think through something, whether that is a new ordinance or policy or program, to think through the ways in which we can get to that end goal.
Yeah.
Who else needs to come along?
Yeah.
Who else needs to be part of this conversation?
Yeah.
What didn't we think about when thinking about this? Why folks are saying no to this?
Yeah.
So opportunity is, I think, something that stays with us. Mm-hmm. There is no period in opportunity. Yeah. It's a look ahead. It's something that is provided. It's something that is there for us. And if we choose to use it, if we choose to use it,
that's it right there. Yeah, yeah. Wow, yeah. But like I said, as you were talking, I'm like, no, your thought process is this is opportunity to create change. And again, it goes back to the way you're carrying this weight. We on the outside, of course, we look at it as a weight that you're carrying. I mean, as any leader, right? But that, what you just said, goes back to your point about carrying it as a light. Again, that light is this opportunity to create change. So I love that. Yeah. What advice would you give young women or young people who are looking to step into leadership role?
Just
a leadership role.
Step into it.
Step into it.
Do it. So what do we learn? We learn by doing. We learn by doing.
Yeah.
I think it's, if someone's thinking about it, there's a reason why you're thinking about it.
Yeah.
Go and do it.
Yeah.
You don't know where to start? That's all right. I didn't know where to start.
Yeah.
Ask questions. Try to find folks who might be in spaces that might model what you're thinking about, right? Have conversations.
Yeah.
Don't be afraid to reach out.
Yeah.
Don't be afraid to ask for help. But most importantly, just go and do it.
Yeah.
As we started this conversation, we talked about leadership as being a practice, something that the more you do it, the better you get at it.
Yeah.
Practice doesn't make perfect, but it definitely makes permanent, right? It allows us that opportunity to continue to build on what we've learned in every single moment. But you only get to build if you start.
Right. Right.
So get into it. Get into it. That's the best thing.
Yeah.
The experiences that you have are valuable.
Yeah. Oh, yes. Yeah.
Don't let anyone tell you that they are not.
Yeah.
They are valuable. We need your voice. So get into it.
Yeah.
Go and do it.
Yeah.
Go and do it. And there's folks like me, I'm sure like you, who are waiting for the unique perspective.
Oh, yeah.
That folks can bring and will bring when they decide to say yes to themselves.
Yeah. That's good. So what do you believe are the biggest opportunities for growth and progress in the city right now?
Oh, there's so much. There's so much. We are in the midst of seeing a local tax that was voted in by the people of Lakewood in 2020, something called Measure L, which allowed us to keep a small percentage of our community's tax dollars in the community.
Okay.
And so we are now seeing the fruits of that come to light. So in 2020, our residents voted for that additional tax. And now in 2026,
6 years later,
I mean, on Monday, we broke ground on it's a senior center that has been in our community for many years, but we are doing so many upgrades to it's going to be a beautiful space. So we did some groundbreaking photos just on Monday, and on the same Monday, we also did groundbreaking photos for our Palms Park Community Center, which will be getting the most gorgeous upgrade in the next few years. We have development on the horizon.
Yeah.
A few weeks ago, we opened our brand new playground at Bloomfield Park, where generations of kids will be playing on.
Wow.
I mean, it's a beautiful space. I mentioned we recently repaved many of our roads, particularly on East Lakewood and on Lakewood Boulevard, our main corridor. Again, these are all results of the investment that our community made in ourselves, of course, with the partnership of other local leaders, federal leaders, like our congressional representatives and our state representatives who have also poured into making that happen. Those are just some of the investments that are coming to light right now.
Yeah.
And it's been so beautiful to watch.
Yeah.
And so I'm grateful that I have amazing colleagues on city council where we choose to invest in our infrastructure.
Yeah.
We choose to invest in our young people. I think those are the two places that will, once we invest in them now, we'll see results for years and years to come.
Yeah.
So I think that is where our investment has been focused on, and I think it's such a worthy place to invest in.
Yeah, yeah. That's beautiful. And again, what you're investing in them now is also an investment in the future.
That's right.
You know what I mean? They get to carry that on. Wow, that's really something. So how can everyday residents become more involved in the communities? And I guess the initiatives that the mayor, the council that you all are trying to, because a lot of residents don't know, I won't say a lot, but some residents are like, well, where do I start? Like, I don't know how, I do want to get involved, but where do I start?
My goodness, there's so many places.
Yeah.
And I think choose the thing that speaks to your heart the most, right?
Yep.
Find that space. What is that thing that has been drawing excitement to you? Or something that you're seeing that you're like, you know what? I have questions about that.
Yeah.
Your curiosity, right? Speaks to you. Start there.
Yeah.
I think as we talk about building community, know your neighbors.
Yeah.
Speak to your neighbors, because those are your immediate community, right? And then we build out from there. And
that's so important.
As we talk about how do you get involved in the work of the city and knowing what's happening in Lakewood, I can speak to, we have so many we have a number of ways in which we communicate with our residents. Our city social media accounts provide not only updates around things coming down the pipeline, but it also shares stories about the amazing team that supports the city's work every single day. We've been telling stories and telling our story as a city in a number of ways on our social media accounts.
Yeah.
We also have a great website that is a fantastic resource for folks to engage in. The website has resources for small businesses. I mean, resources for to know when your trash pickup is. All of those good things. So the website is a wonderful place to connect.
Yeah.
We have a newsletter that folks can sign up for, which every 2 weeks gives a recap of what happened at the city council meetings.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of communication tools. And of course, you can come to a council meeting.
Yep.
Come to a committee meeting.
Yeah.
All of these spaces are public. These meetings are public meetings, which you are invited to not only hear, but at the end, you can give public comment, whether you have an issue. Or one of my colleagues, David Ariano, he's like, you don't always have to come and say what an issue. You can also just come and say hi. And come and say, like, we're doing a good job if we're doing a good job. Like, it doesn't always have to be something negative. Yeah. Like, you can use the time to share something positive as well. But everyone is welcome. Yeah. And those meetings happen every second and fourth Tuesday of every month at our City Hall chambers.
Yeah.
Folks can follow me as an elected leader. My council colleagues also have social media accounts that one can follow, and those are places where people can be engaged.
Yeah.
I do my best to meet folks where they are.
Where they are. Yeah.
And the type of leader I am, I'm like, reach out to me.
Mm-hmm.
You know, sometimes it might take me a little to get back to you, but I will get back to you.
And that's understandable.
And also, you know, again, it's like we have a team as well. And so if you're not hearing directly from me and you're hearing from someone on the team, know that it's all part of the community and continuum of care.
Yeah.
So I believe that leaders should be accessible as they can be.
Yep.
And I've chosen to be transparent and to be accessible as best as I can.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I want to thank you for coming on to the show again. Thank you for saying yes. Like I said, I've been following you since you became, since you made history as a mayor. And I'm like, wow, look at this. And I've been following you since, and the work that you do. You're doing an amazing work. And again, I thank you for saying yes. I just believe that women like you need to be put out to the forefront, especially for our younger women, to empower them and to see you and say, hey, she did it, so I can do it too. So I thank you for coming on to the show. You've been amazing.
Thank you so much for having me. I had a wonderful time chatting.
Me too.
And just really sharing.
Yeah.
But also, like, I feel like there was moments where I was like, girl, yes.
Yeah.
You were speaking it, you know. So thank you. Thank you for holding space and continuing to share this good work with so many.
Absolutely. And thank you to our viewers for tuning in to another episode of the Women Can Do Show. That subscribe button is right there. If you haven't subscribed, be sure to subscribe and share this episode with someone that you know will be informed, empowered, and transformed. Bye.